walk onto the train or bus, everyone's on their phone. When you walk into your office, everyone is typing away at their computers. And even now, when I walk into classrooms, all the students are typing in their school-funded laptops, looking at the projection of the teacher's laptop who has a digital program running to teach them a certain topic. It's official. Writing is dead. But it doesn't have to be this way. We're in a world where almost everything we touch, interact with, and give our attention to is digital. The phone you're watching this video on, the computer you work on, the TV you watch Netflix on, everything is digitized. And for the most part, this is a really good thing because it allows us to store so much more information and data that we could only dream of decades ago. But it's definitely without its flaws, one of which is the lack of writing. When I was in school, and for most people who are my age or older, we went through school with books and pens. We were used to writing down our sentences, formulas, and diagrams on paper in the physical world. Now, this may sound super simple, but it actually played an enormous role in our ability to learn, as well as express ourselves emotionally. Now, it may not sound like it makes much sense hearing the words expressing ourselves and writing math formulas in the same sentence, but in a few minutes, everything will make a lot more sense. Everyone is unique. There is no two same people on the planet, and this is true in more than just our appearance. The way we think, the way we interact with others, and the way we interact with the world are all extremely different. One might prefer sticking to the same old route on the way home, while another might want to discover a new route which has the potential to be faster. It's just how we're built. Now, this goes for writing as well. Everyone has a unique way of writing and drawing. How I like to put it is that everyone has a default font family encoded into their brains, and there is no two font families that are exactly the same. Some might be pretty similar, but there will always be differences. This is how one can express themselves while doing something as structured and succinct as mathematics. Writing is special, but unfortunately, our over-digitized world is threatening our ability to write. Writing is a skill, and like most skills, it can be improved or worsened depending on how often we use it. Because everyone is spending so much time typing than writing, our brain doesn't really see a need for it and reduces our ability to write. We become less creative, our finger muscles weaken, and worst of all, our hippocampus and amygdala actually shrink a little in size. 100 years ago, writing was an essential part of everyone's life. To communicate with others, to writing essays for schools, journaling our lives, everybody was writing all the time. Now, writing is seen as a hobby, and people who write are a rarity. So, why should you write, and how can you start? Well, put simply, writing is a form of expression. We as humans express our thoughts, opinions, feelings, and ideas with each other all the time, but now only really do it verbally or digitally, never on paper, which reduces them to a talking point rather than our expression of self. I believe everyone should write for one simple reason: to reflect. We're constantly growing as we learn new skills, meet new people, discover places we could only dream of years ago. We need to journal this growth to reflect on our past and find out where we must go for the future. For example, if you've been journaling for the last 5 years and you notice that the first 3 years mention a lot about how to make money, and in the following 2 years money isn't mentioned as often, this could mean one of two things. One, you've lost interest in the pursuit of money, or two, you've actually made and grown enough to learn about money so that you have stopped thinking about it altogether because you're financially literate now. Writing is a powerful tool, never underestimate it. People often have this efficiency complex, thinking everything needs to be as effective or efficient as possible, and writing to them is less efficient than typing. But this inefficiency is actually what makes writing so special. The more time you put into something, the better you will get at it, and the more it actually means to you emotionally. Writing and typing are two different sides of the same coin. You can do what you need to do with both of them, but realistically, they both serve very different roles in our life. Now, I personally use writing to journal my life and gather my thoughts, ideas, and goals for the future, while I use typing to pursue or explore those same thoughts, ideas, and goals and expand on them. Two sides of the same coin. So, now we know why we should write. How exactly do we start? Well, if you're like most people, you probably haven't written much, if anything, on paper in a while, so we need to change that. First, pop down to your nearest Woolies or Office Works and cop yourself some paper or a little book like this one. Now, it doesn't have to be perfect, just needs to have some paper in it. Also, make sure that you have a pen. I'm sure you all have one pen somewhere in your house, probably collecting dust because you haven't used it in so long. Once you have these two things, you need to allocate a block of time each day to write. Now, this could be 5 minutes, this could be 1 minute, this could be 50 minutes. Again, it doesn't really matter as long as we're making writing a habit. So, you have your pen in one hand, you have your booklet in the other hand. Now what? What on earth do I write about? Well, really anything. What are you thinking about right now? What are you grateful for today? What are your goals for this month, in 6 months, in a year? How are you feeling in this moment and why? Literally write anything. It doesn't need to be structured perfectly or formatted in any particular way. It will most likely look like a mess, but a good way to understand yourself is that your journal is like a reflection of your mind. If it's all over the place, you're probably thinking about a lot of things, or you're stressed out. If it's very neat and tidy, you might be an organized person or a perfectionist, or you're not as stressed out or overwhelmed. Just make sure that those minutes of time are spent writing. Don't stop writing. And once the timer is over, grab that book and put it somewhere else. Throw it away, and then repeat the process the very next day. And that's it. You have officially become a writer. Well done. Now keep writing, reflect on what you have written in the past, and as always, take care.